Hello, everybody. How are you doing today? It is almost supper time here, and I'm just taking a few moments on my deck to relax on what I believe is going to be the last nice day for about another week. Maybe not. We're going to hope for the best. And it's the first nice day in a long time, too. So I'm trying to absorb this time on my deck as much as possible. But I wanted to come on and share some cool things that have been happening for me. And I just want to share it with you guys so that it inspires you too. Because I was just sitting here unloading unpacking and digesting all the conversations that I've had today. And one of the things that was big for me this week is that I really am learning to let go, as we all do every day. Let go to receive, and that the universe really does have your back and really is working on your behalf. But when you have really, really big decisions to make, you gotta follow your heart. And so I had a really big decision to make pretty much today. As a lot of you know, I took the Spirit Junkie Masterclass with Gabrielle Bernstein last summer. It was fabulous. It totally broke me open and got me going in the direction of my passion and opening up to receive all sorts of new ideas on how to grow my business and do what I love doing. And that is, of course, my coaching business, my writing, and my art and teaching. So those are the passions that I have, and everything came together last summer. Now she has a second level training that I didn't get to last year. It didn't feel like the right time. I had a lot going on, a lot of learning, and I was digesting it all. My coaching had really started to move forward, and I wanted to put my energy and presence there for everyone that I was coaching. So I felt like I just needed some time to absorb what was going on. Now this fall is Spirit Junkie Masterclass Level 2, and I am so excited to say that I am going. I share that with you guys because I did say that I had planned on going in the spring. That was my intention, and that's what my heart was saying I needed to do. I really needed to be there. So Spirit Junkie Masterclass Level 2 is a much smaller training session, like a much smaller group. It's much more intimate. It's much more, you get one-on-one training with Gabby. And there is, I think the maximum amount of people are 50 people, if that. And it takes place at the Kripalu Retreat Center in New York, Massachusetts. And so you have to be there for that one. You can't do that one digitally. Hi, Carol. You can't do that one digitally. You can't do it online. You actually have to go to be there. So today was kind of the last day that I could make the decision to go. And I was, really struggling with the cost because, of course, every time we want to do something big and bold and beautiful, there seems to be a financial cost. The universe doesn't quite understand that sometimes. But what happened was some really cool events that led me to being able to register. I'm seeing that I have a low connection here, and I'm hoping that's not interrupting. Yay! Thanks, Carol. Yes, I am so excited. So I get to go in November and spend a week with Gabby and do some training. So she's training. It's a much more deeper level of coaching. It's training on writing books, training on speaking, training on being present on bringing your full self into your business. It's about spiritually spiritually minded businesses, and so I'm really excited to be there. Um, but anyways, I hemmed and hawed throughout the summer because of the cost, and the cost of the flight, and the cost of the stay at the retreat place. So it's a lot of money, and it's all in U.S. funds. So you know how fun that is when you're Canadian. The exchange rate is kind of crazy. So I waited, I waited, and I find last week I decided, you know what, I'm okay if it doesn't happen. I will let this go because the money just wasn't coming. It wasn't showing up, and I'm like, oh, how can I do this, right? And I was getting caught up in the how is this going to work. So I basically just kind of sat back and thought, well, I know I'm meant to be there. I could see myself there really clearly. I could really feel myself presence there, and I even chatted with my friend last week, and I said, you know, it's such a long flight, and not a long flight, actually a couple flights to get there. I've never traveled in the US by myself. I looked at, well, could I fly across Canada and then rent a car and drive down? What would be the best possible way? And every time I looked at it, I got this like fear in the pit of my stomach. And I just thought, oh my goodness. So she said to me, well, if the cost wasn't there and the flight wasn't an issue, would you want to go? And I was like, yes, yes, I want to be there. And then all of a sudden, the fear came up again because I knew that the women and the people, I shouldn't say women because there are men that go too, that are going to this training are serious people with, and some of them have a lot of presence online. They're very well known. They've got way more followers than me. They, you know, are there. They're out there. They're doing it. And I'm just like little old Janice here from small town Alberta. And so all that was coming up for me. Um, so I realized right away it wasn't just the money. And the money wasn't coming because of the other fears inside of me. So this past week, I did a lot of work on those fears and really recognized that I was falling into the fear of comparison, that ego, and I needed to honor myself. And after actually, I had a really nice chat with my life coach, my coach, and she reminded me that we all bring a light to these events. We all bring our light, and it's all of our light together that really makes the event. And you never know who you're going to touch when you're there. You never know why you need to be there. You think, oh, I need to be there for me, but maybe there's other people. Maybe there's something, some connection, or maybe they have something they will say to me, and that's what I need to hear. So getting out of my head, getting out of that fear space of comparing myself to other people and coming back to my center and my core. And isn't that just life, right? Life in general. We're always comparing ourselves with the people around us and wondering if we're doing it right, or if we're doing it big enough, or if we're being too loud, or if we're dressing right, right? So it's a fear that we all carry through life. So I just want to remind you to come back to your core, get yourself grounded. Anytime you feel yourself swaying into that comparing mode, that fear based living, double checking yourself, come back, sit for a minute, find your power, get centered in that power, because then doesn't matter what other people think, and you're not responsible for what other people think. This is you bringing you. So I really worked on that this week, and I really felt myself standing in my power more so. And yesterday, as I mulled over whether or not I would go to this Spirit Junkie Masterclass 2, I finally came to a decision, and I came to a firm decision that I was going. I was going to go no matter what. I would work double time. I will figure out the money. I don't care. It will figure out somehow. I am going to go. I'm going to trust. I'm going to take the leap, and I'm going to do this. And it felt so good to make that decision. And also, I know darn well that I can work hard and I can get enough money pulled together before November if I need it. So I really coached myself and gave myself that little pep talk and said, that's it. I'm going. I'm going to register. Well, everything fell together. I actually this morning connected with a woman who just happens to have a ticket that she needed to sell. So I was able to get that ticket and buy it off of her. And well, I'm in the process of buying it off of her right now. And it is working out to the highest and best possible situation, the best way for both her and I. And, when I went into my bank to say, I need to figure out how to get this money to this woman down in the States, because I wasn't quite sure how to do that. Interestingly enough, I'm at the bank teller and I'm pulling money from every corner to make this happen. And she says, well, you might not know this, but she didn't know what I was doing. But she says, you're eligible for a personal line of credit here. And I just want you to know that. So it was like, of course I am. Of course I am, because the universe is working on my behalf, right? So just a little bit of my personal story of how things come together. That this woman that needed to sell her ticket and was willing to, cut back a little bit on the cost to save me that exchange rate a little bit. And it's helping her out. It's helping me out. And I just was, when the bank teller said that, I mean, I didn't really want the line of credit, but I just was like, that is so cool. Thank you, universe, right? And that's what happens when you decide to follow your heart and you take that leap. And this has happened to me so many times before, and I don't know, it's still scary. It's still scary when you're standing on the edge of that cliff and you really want to jump, but you don't know how to do it, and you're worried about how it's all going to come together. Those are big decisions in life, and it's really important that you check in with your heart. Go with your heart. What is your heart originally saying to you? If you took everything out of it, and that can be, you got to be really careful that it's not your ego, but it's your heart. And because sometimes we want something and we want it so bad, and it's a little bit of our ego, and we have to be able to discern between what our ego is wanting and what our heart is asking for. And that takes time. You can't just sit down once and make that decision. It takes time. It takes checking in. It takes, one thing I did was, if I don't get to Spirit Junkie Masterclass 2, how will I feel? And one thing I realized was, well, the bottom line I want to go, the reason I really want to go is to keep growing and learning in order to bring that back to my coaching business and give it to the people that I'm coaching. And I checked myself a few times. I thought, well, I kind of said publicly that I was going. I need to go. And then I thought, no, that's ego, right? Because I'm worrying about what other people are going to think. And I saw that in there, but I also saw the deeper heartfelt need to be there. And I felt that in the spring. I knew that this was the right year for me to go. It was just an intuition. But I also had a few little ego trips in there too that I had to iron out a little bit and recognize. And it's just recognizing them, right? And going, oh, let's be honest. I was kind of worried about what people would think if I don't get there. So I let that go and I didn't worry about it. And that's why I'm sharing that with you guys here, is because I want you to know that we all struggle with that ego, and I was really flopping around in the mud there too. So, but it's very confirming and grounding to see the universe support me in this decision. After I finally made the decision, even though the money wasn't there, I was going to figure it out, right? So everything's going to be fine financially. And remember that money is a renewable resource. It's just money. It's just, it comes, it goes, it flows in, it flows out. It's the experiences that are more important. It's the learning, it's the growth, and it's what we're bringing to the world that matters. So you'd come down and say, well, it's the why, right? The why you need to go. Why do I need to be there? And it has a lot to do with raising my vibration up. And it's not even so much the teachings as it is the vibration. And that's the same with the coaching that I do. When I coach, when I sit and have a session with these women, it's about raising vibration up, and they're so fun. The calls are so fun, and we raise vibration up. And when you do that, when you rise up to that level, inspiration comes in, answers to problems, epiphanies, the aha moments, they all come flooding in. So wanted to share that with you guys, and I hope that it helps you if you have any big decisions to make. Follow your heart. Everything will work out. You need to follow your heart. Let go of all of the outside noise, shut it down, and just stay in that heart space, right? So, who's here? Hi, Paulette. How are you? Good to see you. Thanks for watching, you guys. If I look tired, I am, because I went up for a while. So I'm going to sign off now because I have to go make supper. But I'm glad I caught a few of you, and I hope that this helps some of you make your decisions, right? So if you're interested in a vibe session, go to my website, and it is thecreationguild.com, and under In the Flow Vibe Sessions, you'll see the connection there. And I think I'll come on again this week and just talk a little bit. So we are painting tonight, and I will see you later. Bye.